All right, hey everyone, welcome again to our weekly VIP calls. And tonight's going to be great because we have our dear friend Mindee here from New Jersey and Miami too, part time. So Mindee has been in business for many years. She's worked with many Fortune 500 companies. She's also a certified business strategy coach, which she's going to tell you more about later. She's in the personal development space, which I really like because you can't do any business if your head's not right, right? And she coaches women to infinite possibilities with spiritual health, prosperity, and world changes, which I like. So holistic health, right? Holistic entrepreneurship. So with that being said, here's Mindee tonight. And hi, Mindee. How are you?
Hi, everybody. It's
Yeah.
my
So, oh,
pleasure to
sorry.
be here tonight with the both of you.
Love it. Yeah. So, for the audience, do you mind sharing, a little bit about you? Like, how did you get started with entrepreneurship? Like, where were you born? Some basic information about you.
Sure. I was raised in Philadelphia until the age of 6. Then my parents moved to New Jersey, and I grew up in Cherry Hill, and which is 2 hours south of where I live when I reside here in New Jersey. Went away to school. Stayed in New Jersey. I went to the Richard Stockton College of New Jersey. I studied marketing, and I've resided in New Jersey ever since. Although I live in Jersey, I met my husband the very beginning of college, and we've been together ever since sophomore year.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Love that. How about business? Like, where did you get started with business? Did you like start with a corporate job in the beginning and then transition to business, or did you start with, you know, a business right away?
Out of school, I worked at that point for what was the number one premier event marketing company in the United States. And for 7 years, I ran events for Fortune 500 companies throughout the span of my career there. I launched, if anybody remembers the Snackwell brand, I'm not quite sure if they're still on the shelf, but I launched them at all the major marathons across the country. Super, super fun. I ran events for Sports Illustrated, Good Housekeeping, Popular Mechanics, and did some ad sales before I made a change and stepped into pharmaceuticals,
That's okay.
where I spent 17 years in very high level specialty and device sales.
So that's nice. Okay, love that.
Yeah.
17 years. Okay.
17 years. And over the course, with the exception of going out on maternity leave with both of my boys, I stayed in the top 1%. I won trips, I won cars. But what that really cultivates and boils down to, I think that there's a specific trait with entrepreneurs that um, you don't necessarily have to start out with, but it's that work ethic that I see that common trait that people that have success as they step in and embark upon entrepreneurship, it's about having tenacity and grit, perseverance.
I love that. So true, right? Because you got to
Yeah.
be working a lot of hours. I mean, on Instagram, people look like they're always on vacation making money, right? But the truth is, you got to put in many hours in order
Yeah.
to be successful. And I don't think that's really talked about, right? In social media, right? In particular.
But I truly believe that those skills that were instilled upon me in the corporate environment are the skills that when I um, stepped in and embarked upon entrepreneurship, that although I didn't realize it in the first 6 months when I stepped into building entrepreneurship, that those skills were so transferable. So for those in your audience that are tuning in, whatever you're doing right now, that so it so relates to stepping in and embarking upon, whether you're building a business online or offline, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, it doesn't matter. those skills are the skills that are going to enable you to have success.
Love that. And then what are you doing now? You're doing some coaching right now, right?
I am full-time, 100% doing coaching, one-on-one group work, and also running retreats.
Nice, love that. So, like, what do you do exactly? Like, what do you coach, and like, who do you help as far as your clients? Yeah. Mhm.
I work, I would say 80% with women, 20% with men. I'm working really to help people that are already having success, that are ambitious, that want to go from good to great to extraordinary.
Love that. So, like, a lot of like mindset stuff, right?
Not just
Mind-
mindset, the work
Mhm.
that I'm doing in coaching is very different and unique because it goes 5 levels deep. So it's somatic, emotional, mental, behavioral. And to
Wow.
me, most importantly, unconscious, because oftentimes what I find is that even ambitious, successful people that I work with, that multiple 6-figure, 7-figure businesses, there are things that have transpired, typically between the ages of 0 and 7, that
Mm.
inhibit people, no matter what they're doing, from going all into their next level, their next edge. So that's what really differentiates the type of coaching and how I hold space with safety for the clients that I work with, one-on-one or in group.
So, like, a lot of trauma, right? Would you say trauma
I,
and
I am certified in trauma, but no, not necessarily, because big T trauma and small T trauma are different. Um, I will work with people if they have had big T trauma, but I will recommend that they work with a trauma therapist. But oftentimes it could be that uh somebody, might have been that child that was picked up at school last consistently every day. But when you go and you uncover unconsciously, that's what's stopping them from jumping and diving all in to entrepreneurship. But when you can break through that barrier and help them to see, when you track back and you're able to tap into that unconsciously, it frees and it opens the aperture for them to dive deep and go all in no matter what they're building.
yeah, I agree.
I
So,
feel that.
a lot of like inner work, right? I agree with all of this for sure. Because I don't think you can even scale if you're like stuck somewhere, right? You're like stuck within your own self, stuck with some type of like unconscious, issue inside of you.
I used to think it was 80%. I spent a lot of time. In fact, during up until the pandemic, I worked alongside Tony Robbins, and a lot of Tony says 80% inner, 20% outer. I really believe that mindset is 95%. The other 5%, you can
Wow.
build the skill, because oftentimes, and you reflect back to me if you see differently in what you're experiencing in entrepreneurship, but how often do you see somebody get started and they get a few no's and then they're checked out? But what if you can break through and get underneath that? You can never be rejected. When somebody's saying no, it's not about you. So what about if you played a game, instead of going for yeses, you set a goal and you go for no?
Yeah.
Reverse the game.
Yeah, it changes the whole dynamics. It's like shooting basketball. How many times, or at least for me, because I'm not very good at basketball, I do give it my best shot, but how many times am I going to miss the basketball? But if I go on a challenge that I'm going to shoot for 30 and I go for the average and I'm not caring about the times that the basketball doesn't go in, it changes the whole dynamics.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, but like um failure rate in any business is pretty high. I think it's about 95% failure rate, right? For a lot of industries. So that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
But let's play devil's advocate. What about if we question that we're not really failing, that we can never fail, and that it's feedback? And I know I can relate back to my journey in entrepreneurship and even back in corporate, like working for, or I can remember towards my exit of corporate America, I had gotten promoted. My manager got promoted, and I acquired somebody that just very candidly was had a lot of jealousy. And it wasn't about, like, I was number one in her district in really across the United States. And when she acquired our territory, she just uh, was not kind. And we went at it for 2 years. Yet um, it wasn't about me. Like, I wasn't failing. It was about me being knowing and having the understanding that it wasn't personal. And back then I wasn't nearly as evolved and developed. And had I had to work with her now, it would be totally different dynamics. But I truly believe, even when I was building and hard at it, building in health and wellness, there's many times, you'd have a huge distributor that would choose to go to another company and volume would drop, but it wasn't about me failing. That just was feedback that I needed to rebuild a leg, or I needed more volume here. And the more that you experiencing those types of situations, I believe it makes us stronger.
I love that. It's so true. Because all throughout your journey, there's so many like little failures for per se, right? But really, I think it's it depends on how you look at it. So if you take it as a failure, then you quit. But if you
Right.
take it as a lesson and feedback, like so, then you adjust, right? Pivot or like tweak something, adjust, and then get better from that experience. So
Yeah. And to
love
me,
that.
it's really about how can you pivot 2%? If you execute or you facilitate something and you don't get the outcome that you desire, yet you pivot and you go back and you evaluate what worked, what didn't work, and you make 2 millimeter shifts. Eventually, if you keep going, you are going to get the outcome you desire. But you have to have that burning desire inside of you.
Yeah, I agree. I love that. I love the perspective. That makes a lot of sense. Because we keep getting crushed, right? All throughout our journeys, like we're getting crushed the whole year. And then you just, you just stay persistent, you tweak a little bit, you adjust, you show up again the next day and just do it again. So with a
Yeah.
bit of attitude too. So you got anything wrong?
Yeah. So you're coaching business. So I'm a real estate guy. I flip and I do something called wholesale. And I'm thinking, and I'm actually started my own coaching. And I'm at the beginning, and I'm like, she's coaching, he's coaching. And I just love the business model. I love to be able to, like, hey, take what I got here and help people and help them grow. Um, and so I just want to know, like, what's your, like, how did you start coaching? Like, you had mentioned that you got to make your first $500, then you can make more. Where are you at now? Like, in your, like, how many students do you have? How many people have you helped? Like, what's that been like?
I've helped, I mean, through my journey in entrepreneurship, I've helped thousands of people. Some make
Thousands.
$500, some make $5,000, some make six figures. Yet I walked away 3 years ago to fully embody and step into coaching. And from that place, I've created and I built an, a platform where I'm at multiple six figures again. And to me, it's, do I want to scale and do I want to go wider, or, do I want to spend 3 months in Miami and enjoy that time? Although I worked, um, do I want to work 3 days a week? So it's a matter of um, lifestyle and freedom at this point. Right now, I have a handful of one-on-one clients. I have a group program, and in the fall, I will run a retreat, because I truly believe when you get people out of their environment and you get them into immersion, it changes the dynamics of everything. Um, so that's a little bit about the progression and where I'm at now. But you asked a great question. How did I start coaching?
Yeah.
I've been building, and what I truly recognized in order to go to the top of the companies I was building, it was about building leaders and it was about building skill. So, and what I enjoyed the most about it was the coaching aspect of it, not so much about, um, you know, that just turned out to be my favorite dynamic. And slowly I got certified in 3 different modalities. And then the pandemic happened. It stepped away from the Tony community because events were not happening live. So as much as I had been working on the other end and facilitating with Tony, the world shut down, it changed. And I had really been looking, because for me, for so long, throughout my corporate career, being in entrepreneurship, it was always about hustle and grind. And I was ready to take more of a feminine approach versus a masculine approach. And I've been looking because I had been coached forever, whether it be Tony Robbins, whether it be Tim, like I had multiple mentors throughout my life that were very much about that hustle and grind mentality. So somebody actually from the Tony community had recommended my coach that I train under now. And through that, it really enabled me to step in through the lens of being able to create with ease and grace and flow instead of that hustle and grind and work 24/7. And from that place, again, I've just created something that's so beautiful. So do I have the bandwidth that I could take 10 more? I could. But I do enjoy, having space in my calendar as well.
Love that.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Awesome.
it's like more like lifestyle, right? Like building a business around the lifestyle that you want.
Yeah, and it's not, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm at the point now that I do high ticket. So I'd rather work with a handful of people and it just be, that there's blocks of time. And I do immersion. Sometimes I'll do based on the way the client comes in. I'll do more high end. So I'm doing, an immersion day in person, half a day, no matter where they are in the United States. I haven't done an internationally yet, but
You,
Doing
you
it
go
by
to
app?
them
yeah, sometimes it's
Oh
just
or
wow.
they come to
part of
you?
the package.
Wow, that's amazing. Meeting in person?
Yeah. Most of the coaching though, if that's not the way the client comes in, is done just like we're doing right now. And that's the beauty of
Freedom.
uh, whether it's coaching, whether it's entrepreneurship, everything can be done virtually now.
So good.
That's a good point. That's a good point. Love that. Go ahead, bro.
Yeah. So all right. So if you could think back, so I'm gonna have you kind of coach me right now, if that's okay. I'm starting out. I don't have any clients. What
Okay.
do I like? What would you? How do you get clients? Like, how's that work?
I love that question. And tell me a little bit more about the type of real estate and the flips that you're doing.
Okay. The main thing that I do is it's called wholesaling. It's
Yep.
where we go in and we make offers on the MLS on houses that need work. We don't want the pretty ones. We want the ugly ones. So we could negotiate a good price and pretty much sell that to a flipper and do no work. I just negotiate, hey, this house to be at this price. There's maybe 10 or 15K a spread in there. The flippers say, I'll take it at that price. And we just like make that money. We can cherry pick the flips that we do want. The ones we like, we keep them for ourselves. We flip them. But the main business is to teach people how I get these properties, spending no money, because you spend a crazy amount of money a month marketing to get houses. And then I was like, we just made 17K and we didn't pay anything because we made an offer on a house that's listed. All these people want to sell. So there's a system, there's a system and processes and a way to make offers that I've created that I could just hand to somebody and they can take it and build their own. business doing the same thing, wholesaling houses. I don't know if that makes, hopefully that made sense.
Oh, that absolutely makes sense. And I understand a little bit about the dynamics. I have some actual clients that are into real estate, both ends.
Awesome.
So tell me a little bit more to give me some context. What does your social media landscape look like?
So it's basically, if you looked at it, you'll see mostly content of me teaching random stuff. A little bit. I would say I have a real estate presence on Instagram. Oh, Lewis said 1 second. And where I just, maybe talk about flips, talk about some deals, and it's not focused really on what I'm coaching really, but just general, I'd say general real estate. I am a coach for one of my buddies. He has a really big coaching program. So I post me coaching students pretty often on there. So they see a little bit of interaction, but I'm not hitting it hard at all as far as like what I should be.
So two things. How often are you, so how many followers do you have on Instagram?
11,000.
Okay, that's pretty nice. And what's your engagement?
A good post for me would be 1,000 to 2,000. I'm like really happy if I get to 1,000.
So people are commenting, you're getting 1,000 comments on
Views, mainly views, comments, not a shoot. Less like if it's something not a lot, not a whole lot. I'd say less than 10 usually. But I'm not making it's weird because I talk about like I went viral on TikTok. I have 170,000 followers on TikTok talking about how to make money. Cause that's what I had a coach that's like, listen, do this, you're gonna blow up, and then you can niche down to real estate. So that's what I did. Now I got all these people. I was talking about work from home. It was a perfect time of COVID. Everyone's at home, and I'm talking about how to make money at home. So I'm getting tons of views, tons of comments, tons of stuff. But I don't really the one that I really want to talk about was the wholesaling. You can do that at home. That's really what I want to just focus on.
So close your eyes for a minute.
All right. Like for real, for real?
For real. You asked me to coach you. It's all right. Relax, uncross your legs.
Okay.
And, just set an intention for the next 5 minutes. What do you want to gain from our time together?
Just like clarity and a direction.
Okay. So when you lean in to stepping in to coaching, is there anything that comes up for you around coaching?
That like, can I have clarification on that? Like, when I think about just coaching people, does anything come up?
Like, is there anything that's alive and present for you? Do you feel, as you're leaning into your body and your eyes are closed, do you feel any contraction in your body?
I don't think so.
Okay. So if you notice any energy in your body, I want you to breathe into that. And I want you to really think about what would light your soul on fire to step into with coaching.
I mean, if I could show people, how to make money for real estate, and it changed their life. Because what it did for me, it changed my life.
Okay.
Like huge. And I'm having fun, and I can get paid for it. That's like a win-win.
So if you could speak into an audience, what would you want to facilitate and teach on? Would it be one-on-one? Would it be group? Would it be immersion work?
I think group and one-on-one.
Okay.
Mainly group, probably.
And you mentioned that you've been facilitating in another community for another coach.
Yeah, I have.
Okay. And how long have you been doing that for?
Almost 2 years, year and a half, 2 years, yeah.
Okay. And when you facilitate in that community, what are you, do you come on weekly, monthly, quarterly?
Yeah, I have a accountability call every week, two, three groups of people, and then I actually teach whole like a it's almost like a weekly course where I just literally teach. The other one, I'm like an accountability coach, but this one once a week, I actually teach people and do a Q&A at the end.
Okay. And when you're facilitating and teaching in that community, where do you feel like, what do you feel the progression has been? Like, do you come up with a solid lesson, a solid plan for each time?
Yes,
Okay.
yeah, I have like a 12-week program that repeats itself every every quarter, and new students come in, old students leave, and I don't focus on that part. I just help the people that are there. You know what I mean?
Okay. So feel in based on what you shared with me about your following on Instagram and what you've built on TikTok. So if you were to step in from this place and start to widen the aperture with your existing audiences, and it sounds like TikTok is a place that you've really been able to make an influence. How would you asked me, how would I get started? How would you start to market to that existing audience?
Probably just giving value to giving making content that like is just valuable. That's real estate. I think there's something kind of hold me back there. There's definitely something hold me back with the TikTok audience.
All right.
um
Now slow that down and
okay.
breathe into it. Breathe into your heart space, pull it into your body wherever you are feeling whatever's coming up. And which part of your body are you feeling that contraction?
Is it chest?
Okay. Now,
Upper chest?
that's okay. Now, allow yourself to really allow in your chest or your heart space, allow the aperture to expand and breathe into that again. And see if there's any images, if there's any colors, any thoughts that come to mind.
Colors. There's some orange there, but I don't know if it's this light.
Are there any thoughts like,
I'm like the worst student ever.
are there any thoughts that come up about what is would hold you back if you were
Like,
to move to that TikTok audience?
yeah, like some a little bit of like anxiousness with it and some hesitation, really. Because I think I feel like I've been building their trust and credibility for something, and then completely going like, I'm not talking about that no more. I don't even use that audience. I don't even talk to them. I don't even do anything with it really. And it's like a shame. I feel like they wouldn't want the real estate stuff. Why am I thinking for them? I don't know. They
But
want the work from home stuff.
allow yourself to get curious. If they were open and receptive to making money, working from home, and you could show them another option that's viable and speak in and show how it's changed and transformed your life, what would make you think that almost 200,000 people wouldn't be open and receptive to your messaging?
I know it's crazy, right?
So are there any thoughts that come up that from this place, if you were working with an expert like me that could coach you how to do it, that would hold you back from stepping into speaking and pouring life into that audience?
No, I think kind of some of the stuff that makes me like a little bit discourage, I should say, or create these false narratives is the engagements from when I talk about work from home stuff is crazy high. And when I talk about real estate, it's like no one cares. Like, no, like we're talking about 10, 20,000 views to like talking about the work from home stuff to like a couple hundred real estate.
Yeah, but do you realize that if you, as you speak into, like, think back when you first started that TikTok account, where did you start from?
Zero.
Right. So
Zero. Yeah.
how many people do you really need to pour into if you were to create a dynamite 12-week course that was your empire?
I mean, that's a good point. I probably need like 1,000 people.
Yeah, exactly. And over time, don't you believe that if you were pouring in with the correct messaging and warming that audience up, and then you let it to where you could drive those 1,000 people to a masterclass, pour value into them, and then have an offer that they wouldn't be open and receptive?
There's another block. There's another block. I feel it now. Like
All right. So
it's almost like stomach, and it's
slow
yeah,
down.
it'll work for everybody else, but it won't work for me.
I hear that often. Slow that down. Why wouldn't it work for you?
No real rational reason. Like I can't wrap it around. Maybe the I think I've probably tried to do the real estate stuff before, coaching before, and it didn't work. So, well, actually, it did work. It did work.
There you go.
It seems like there's just stuff in my mind, some limitations I'm putting on my own self that I can't even rationalize. But I know better. I know not to do that.
All right. So slow this down and track it back in time. Is there a time that you can remember, and you can go back as far as you'd like, that maybe you were a little boy in grade school, maybe it was high school, that you felt that you weren't going to succeed at something?
That was, I mean, that was some tough times. Absolutely.
Okay, so is there any one memory that comes up?
Um, Problem one that comes up was being really embarrassed I couldn't make the varsity basketball team.
And when you think back to that day and everybody else was hearing that they made the varsity basketball team and you didn't, how did that make you feel?
Not good enough.
Okay. So when you're telling me that you've put it out there and you're only getting a couple hundred views, is that the same feeling that you felt back in high school when you were told you weren't going to be on the varsity basketball team?
Yeah, pretty similar.
Okay. So from this place, can you see the correlation that if you adjust your strategy with TikTok, and I don't even know that that's the way that I'd coach you out of the gate to venture and embark upon coaching, yet that you have almost 200,000 followers, it's a good place to start. Not the only place. But does the block feel lighter now?
Yeah, it definitely helps.
And if you were to take aligned action from this place within the next 24 or 48, 72 hours to go and deliver a message to your TikTok following about real estate from this place without the block, what would you share?
Without the block.
Without the block. No inhibitions. No, this can't work for me.
What would I share with them?
Mhm.
How what what real estate's done for me, what figuring this stuff out has changed my life once I figured out how to do this.
And how long has it taken you to figure out how to do it?
From when I started to when I got success was 6 months.
Okay. So could you imagine, just allow yourself to pull in a feeling, an emotion, a vision, that if you could pour into that TikTok audience where you have almost 200,000 followers, and it would only take 3 months to build like and trust, and you could convert that into thousands of students from that place.
What would I share with them?
Not what would you like, think back if it took you 6 months to step in and learn your trait with real estate,
Oh,
based on the fact that you're saying you only get a couple hundred views when you talk about real estate versus talking, working from home, shifting the message, and anything we start takes time. If it was to take 3 months for you to pour into this TikTok audience, we're
yeah.
doing strategies to step into coaching. What do you think could happen?
I mean, what I think could happen would be uh, probably a lot more people than I thought would engage and want this kind of content and appreciate it, and it will probably grow the
So are
interest. Yeah.
you willing, because I know you're able, are you willing in the next 24 or 48 hours, are you willing to maybe do a couple short form videos on TikTok, speaking in to warm up your audience about how you stepped in and how you quickly were, share your experience. How about there? Could you start from there?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So are you willing to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. And can I hold you accountable?
Yes. What happens if I don't? I get up
Good
over here,
job.
got me almost crying and stuff, man.
You can open your eyes now. That was beautiful.
Was it?
See, yeah, it was. And I mean, this was like impromptu and we were both joking around, but I mean,
100%.
that's the profound beauty of coaching
Yes.
and the power that you can have with your knowledge, with your experience, to step in. And I mean, coaching is the best profession on the planet. There's nothing like it.
You know what's crazy about what you just did? I have the same conversations, not nearly as good as what you did, but there's so many people that think they can't do this. And I got to be like, what are we like? Same kind of thing that you did. What's holding you back?
Yeah.
Like, we need to implement this into like, because it's like you said, same thing. I think this translates to entrepreneurship in anything. You're holding yourself back. We all are.
Yeah.
What's holding you back to
Yeah.
thinking you can't do this?
But how many times do entrepreneurs jump in? And when I did a little bit of research about, um, having an Amazon storefront and a platform, I mean, there's so many ways that, like, if I was coaching Lewis's group, that from my experience, from what I did building very large teams in health and wellness, that I would help them to go out the gates, to have success and tune in. Like, you don't have to build, so many people have inhibitions about social media. You don't have to build on social media. I've helped other coaches that I've coached that have no social media presence, that don't want anything to do with social media, build six-figure businesses. That's the beauty of coaching. But it's always about building, breaking down the blocks, because we all have them. We're all human. But once you can get underneath that, once you change the dynamic with the block changes. Once you change the relationship, just like I took you in very briefly, somatically, once you change the relationship with the sensation you're feeling, it changes everything.
Yeah. Thank you for that, by the way. I
You
appreciate
are
that.
so welcome. I hope that served. So that's a little bit about my magic. You guys got to see it.
It's funny because I feel like these calls are like my personal coaching and healing. The last one too.
There are
Oh,
so many
JP was the last one. Oh, yeah.
there are so many ways though that you could go build. I mean, I can tell you have charisma and grit and just tenacity. You could build multiple six-figure business in 6 months, no doubt.
Hey, let's go.
Let's go. Here we go.
Let's do it.
Especially with him because he has the skill sets already, right? So it's just a matter of really just communicating it, I feel.
Yeah, and I mean, if you've got that many people on TikTok, I mean,
I-
you've got an open platform to pour in.
Without cheating. The Instagram, yeah, I paid for some stuff on the Instagram, but the TikTok's all me. Zero paid for anything. I
Yeah.
can't believe it. I look at that like, how did I do that? Like, I have no idea.
I can tell, like, you're funny, like you have no inhibitions about the camera.
I
And
used to. Yeah, I broke through it.
yeah. And now just imagine you break through that next ceiling. If you're already coaching in another community, why not build that on your own?
Yeah, that's what gave me the confidence was like me, because I'm coaching like the people who are already like, they're not beginners. They're already got a business going and I help launch them. And it's weird how like when people give you feedback and you're just like, oh, I am good at this. Okay, cool. I thought I was good, but it reinforces it because all you guys are happy with me and with what I'm doing. Now I'm even more so.
Yeah, and I mean, what I'd guide you is regardless of what you're coaching on, it's so important to weave people through awareness, acceptance, and aligned action, because then you're helping people to step in. You weave that through each session, and you will have students that are crushing it because you're weaving them through a process. And from that place, you create a 12-week course, a 6-week course.
Okay, what'd you call it? You said awareness and what?
Awareness, acceptance, and aligned action. It's part of the methodology and the foundation of my own coaching platform, but it works. I mean, I have trained under the best that I'm still training underneath her. And her methodology was built around that presence. I built my own methodology because I love her, but I don't want to be her. I want to be Mindee.
Mhm.
Yet I weave that into anything I do, and it makes it so seamless. And again, you're doing, wholesale, but how many people come and they're going to have inhibitions about going to do things that you do? So if you weave them through that process, it's a win-win.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, this was fun, guys.
It wasn't even
Sorry.
really expected, right? So
Nah, sorry I took all the time, but she
I
asked me.
good.
She asked me, so hey, let's go.
Good
It's
stuff.
powerful. I think it's very like impactful with coaching. It's not the easiest job out there too, right? But I think it's really valuable when you help people transform.
There's nothing like it. When I get testimonials, like when they're just sent to me and I wake up to that, there's nothing more fulfilling than that. It is the best gift, better than money. Although I like money too.
Yeah.
Louis, what did you see there? What from your perspective? What happened? What'd she do to me?
I mean, for you to like look back in your life and and remember the certain instance in the past that's holding you back, which I actually like believe a lot in that too, because a lot of your blockers are from your past, for sure. And if you don't really clear that, you're gonna be stuck until you clear it, in my opinion.
Stuck.
Yeah.
Wow. I've
It's like
seen what she did to. I've seen other people do it, but I've never. I just did it right now. Someone's kind of took me through it before, but not how she did it.
And again, if we were on like a one-on-one session, I would go much deeper. And I mean, it would have gone, I would have had you sit in it and stay with it and go even deeper. But I knew that our time was, yeah.
You try to make me cry. That's what.
You know what? You always know, and I didn't get you to cry. But you always know when you're working with the client, and it happens often, probably weekly to me in some of my sessions. But as you do the work and you peel back the layers of the onion, you know that you've really gotten to the root. Because oftentimes people will present surface level.
Yeah.
And again, I'm working with ambitious, successful people. They'll
Ego.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's ego, but my job is to go from ego to essence. Because everything is looking to be met with love.
What's this witchcraft she knows? No, I'm kidding.
Anyway, all right, so you guys got to witness a little tiny bit of my magic. But
That was
It was
awesome.
great. I believe in all of that. I took,
Me too.
like similar classes in the past, like with trauma and yeah, it gave me like a migraine. I went through like a full day session and we talked about my, my past, this guy made me like do like a timeline of all my hurt. And we went deep and then I was crying a lot and then I got a migraine.
often
I think it was a good release. Huh?
yeah, it is a good release. And again, I'm certified in trauma. It's not what I call in, but yet, unfortunately, more people than you would think have some sort of trauma that they've experienced throughout their life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
So,
Love it.
but it's a gift, regardless of whether you're doing real estate coaching, whether you're doing transformational and business strategy like I'm doing. It's a gift that you give to others. And don't you think that working from home versus making money in real estate or flipping is any different?
Okay. Yeah, you're right. When I say it, I'm like, that's so stupid. I work from home.
Yeah.
I run this business from home. I don't go see these houses. They're in Indiana.
Yeah. So,
I'm in Vegas.
and I mean, what if you could teach other people like the foundational, like I'd build a whole master course on the foundations, the fundamentals of exactly what you did, A through Z,
Yeah,
and give them a blueprint to go do it.
that's
Yeah,
what I'm gonna do.
yeah. You keep me posted. I
You
want
know
to
what?
come when you go.
We should have her dude, like there was a mastermind I went to. We all paid like 10 grand or something like that. And they had someone like her show up and talk to the room and like help these entrepreneurs break through. You might should have her. Does you know Rad?
Right.
No. Mm-mm.
Oh, okay. I thought she might have came from Rad. This guy we know is. How do you want to explain Rad? He's got a huge following of people trying to like break through. He's a credit guy, and he has these master Lewis is in it, and it's teaching people how to like grow their social media. And I just think that someone like you, we all need coaches if we're trying to grow past our comfort zone and things that's holding us back.
Here's what
You
I'll
need
say,
someone.
guys. I mean, I've been trained by the best. I mean, those that are in proximity to me, no. I mean, Tony Robbins picked me up in the air and swung me around. And now, I mean, my coach that go look her up. She's got an amazing podcast. Her name's Alyssa Nobria. She's world renowned. Like
Alyssa, what?
Alyssa Nobria. Look her up on Instagram. That's who I train under. And if it says anything, when I was going through her certification, there were 375 students. She picked 2 to be on the graduate panel. Who do you think was one of them?
Was it you?
And I had to go live with her on her Instagram. That got pushed out to hundreds of thousands of people. But she's a dynamo. And I mean, I'm coachable and I'm a great student. But from that place, I mean, I really got trained by the best because it's 20 years of her life work and it's 5 years ahead of anything else. So I could be put in a room with whomever and do exactly what I just did with you and get people breakthrough.
Look, I built my group up. There's people having blocks. Hey, let's bring in Mindee. Let her work
Yeah.
on one of you. And I don't know if you take clients, but yeah,
I've got capacity to take a few more clients.
awesome.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna bring her in front of my Amazon students.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
They got blocks.
exactly.
Your students have blocks too, of course, probably.
Yeah. I mean, they don't want to spend money, to buy inventory. Like, you know what I mean?
This is
No,
one of
you
the
don't.
that I do. It's on vision. So, I mean, I bring people through a vision exercise and break through to their blocks. And I can do that in an hour. That's what the type of workshop I've been doing for top leaders in network marketing. And it's been really, really well received.
Yeah.
So you have students that, are stuck in their own way. I can get them some clarity with that. So just let me know. I did draft a work, like I catered it more if I was going to be in your community. So let's talk more and then I'll have it put in a capture page and we'll get a date on the calendar. And I'd love to do it. And I'd love to help. Like, it's all about collaboration. It's all about us empowering each other and tapping into our communities. Because I'm sure I know people that would love to learn how to flip houses. And did you see what I sent you over, Lewis? Um, if you can get me a link,
Oh, right.
yeah, once a month, I can post that in the community. It could get you a handful of people.
Yeah.
That is Alyssa's community where I'm a re-enroll.
Love it. Okay. Appreciate that.
So
Yeah.
yeah, get me over something. And I mean, if it can't happen this week, I can post again in a month.
Yeah. Okay. Love that. Okay. Yeah. And
Right?
we're all about it too, the collaboration. And that's why we have these
Yep,
calls anyway,
100%.
and live events. It's more like I'm gonna, we're gonna showcase you guys versus us. And then from there we help each other out, right?
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's all
Yeah.
about relationships and just cultivating them and helping, one another out
Yeah.
and bringing value, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course. But this has been fun, and let's talk about what we can do next together.
Yep. How can people find you?
For right now, because my website is being redone, they can find me on Facebook or Instagram, and I'm at Mindee Rosen
Yeah. Okay. Awesome.
Mindee with 2 E's, right?
with 2 E's, yeah. MindeeRosen. And my main profile says Live Your More on Facebook.
There's
Yeah.
more keto inspiration. That ain't you. That's a different one.
On where? On Instagram? Oh,
Yeah, I
that's
put in.
that was built when I was in health and wellness. I do a lot more on Facebook. I haven't
Yeah.
100% back on Instagram, but my main profile on Facebook it's got a banner that says Live Your More.
Oh, that is okay. So that was you.
Yeah, but this
Okay,
one says
cool.
Live Your More. This isn't keto.
What did I see?
Yeah. And we're gonna post a replay inside our portal, and then we're gonna tag you too. Your Facebook and Instagram. So
Awesome, awesome. And then my website should be done. It's just I keep making changes. So I'm not ready to publish it yet, but it's getting there.
love it.
Yeah.
Awesome.
All right, guys. So we will talk soon. Thank you again for everything.
Yeah.
And it's
Appreciate it.
so nice to meet you. And if I can give you any more tips.
Yeah, I appreciate that. That's awesome.
I have some ideas. Go get your feet wet though. And really message me. I want to see that
Okay.
you're gonna start speaking into how real estate changed your life. Just start speaking about that. People want authentic, they want real, and it doesn't matter. If you can show them a way, it's work from home. Whether
Yep.
it's being a day trader, whether it's flipping houses, whether it's getting into high-end real estate, it doesn't matter. It's still working from home.
That's true. Yep. I just added you right now on IG.
Awesome. I'm gonna go accept you.
Awesome.
All right, we will talk soon.
Sounds
Mindy,
good.
appreciate
Yes.
you. We'll talk
Have
later,
a
okay?
great day, guys.
You
You
too.
too.